Hey, what's up guys, Kid Prepper, and today I'm going to my neighbor's house because he said he has like this cool behind the garden thing, so we're gonna go check it out. Let's go. Okay, so here it is.
Right on. So this is a simple IBC tote aquaponics system that anybody could put in their yard. It takes the technology, it uses hydroponics and aquaculture. So it instead of adding chemicals to the water for the plants like a traditional hydroponics would do, we actually use fish waste. And so down here, I know it's a little blurry, cloudy right now, but I've got a bunch of different tilapia. And what they do is they eat food and then they make their waste. And then that waste gets pumped up into these tubes over here and with the water. And as it comes down, the different plants' roots grab the waste and they help convert it from a nitrite to a nitrate. And that's during that conversion process, the plants pull out what they need to grow, and then they return it back to the fish, clean water full of oxygen. And so this system operates off of one little tiny pump. It's just a little hydroponic pump, like right here, that goes underwater. And I have it running all the time, so it's called a constant flow system. And so what'll happen is, like I said, the water goes up top, it comes down, and the reason I have these pipes here is that helps create oxygen for the fish, because I don't have an oxygen thing in there. And then it drops down into here, it fills up in this grow bed, and then I have a bell siphon here, and once it hits a certain level, this siphon will suck all the water out and shoot it back down to the fish, and it starts over again.
Cool. So to make this, you don't really need that much space if you want to make just a small one.
All you need is what you're looking at right here.
So this is this water tank that people use sometimes for water.
Yeah, it's called an IBC tote. And
IBC.
Down here they use them for water. They generally you want to get a food grade one that didn't have chemicals in it before, because you're going to be growing food. So it means you don't have to clean it out as much. And really, this is the simplest system you can have. Now, what you can do is, like, if you come over here or two and see what I kind of started is I've got like seeds in here, and this isn't looking real pretty right now because we're in our rain season, so we're getting, we barely get the sun we have. But you can control your water anywhere you want to grow. So there's people that have these type of gardens that have these tubes running along the whole length of their house where they're just having water flow. And then another cool thing about it is that these type of gardens only use 10% of what the water that a normal garden would use. And so here, when we have our dry season and it gets pretty gnarly, you're not wasting water.
Do you ever put new water in it, or?
Sometimes I add water to it, especially during the summertime when you start just losing it through evaporation. But this time of year with the rain, yeah, it gets enough water. Cool. And this actually isn't the best spot for this. You could put these directly out in the sun. I have it under here, kind of the shade, because I'm growing these tomatoes out, and then I have turmeric and ginger, just plants that'll get too affected by it. Do you like tomatoes?
Yeah. These ones you can eat already?
Oh yeah, these are awesome.
Eat the whole thing?
Yeah, just pop it in your mouth.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, they're just super. Those are like the little yellow pears that are pretty common. They grow the best down here. So yeah, gravel, IBC tank, water pump.
Is this dirt underneath the gravel?
No, this is all just gravel.
All just rocks?
Yeah, and so then what happens is the fish, poop kind of comes down and it collects in the gravel, and then naturally you get these worms. They're like earthworms. We call them red wingers. And they eat the fish droppings, and then they create their own droppings, which is called a humus. But that humus contains a bacteria that helps this whole process work together. So it's a super natural, just symbiotic system. And they actually, like, people now are starting to do more and more of it, but they found on Sumerian tablets and stuff from the ancient days of guys doing this system. And they had no idea what it meant. They didn't know why they had fish down below and a garden up above until you know, we started growing this way and realized, oh, you don't need to add anything. It's totally natural. And if stuff were to hit the fan, you have food for at least a week or two with water. You know, if power went out, I know some guys that like to have these on solar so that they're completely off the grid with it.
So right now it's just, the pump is just plugged into a
It's
little
just plugged
outlet.
into a wall, yeah. But it's a small enough pump to where in this location I could put a panel right up top, and that's all it would take to keep running.
But how many fish do you think you got in here?
Oh, right now I probably have around 60.
A lot of them are baby ones that are still...
Yeah, little baby ones. And the reason I have this screen up here is because the baby ones will come up here and stay away from the big ones.
How big do they get before you eat them usually?
I can eat those down there because this isn't a really big tank.
Yeah.
But if you have a bigger tank, like some people use their swimming pools to do this, and the tilapia get this big. I mean, they'll grow to the size of the tank. And the reason why we use tilapia is because they're really strong fish. They're like what you would call hardy, you know. So they if something goes off with the water, like if the pH gets off balance and stuff like that happens, because you're essentially keeping a fish tank. Some fish will like get stressed out and die right away, like some trout or bass. Tilapia, they could take it. You can get away with stressing them out. Not that you want to, but it can happen fairly easily. And if you see in the back, I kind of have these little tubes. You can't really see, they're back there, but what I have is like 3 tubes that are this big and this long. And the girl tilapia will go in there, and that keeps them away from the other tilapia, and then they lay their eggs, and they're mouth brooders, so they put the fish in their mouth, and then that gives them a chance too. So by the time the fish are on their own, they swim up to the top, and they're big enough to kind of escape the other. So that's why there's a full ecosystem where they're having babies, and
will the bigger ones ever like fight or attack the little ones?
Yeah, sometimes if they get hungry enough, you know.
What is it that they eat? Just like you.
Oh, actually, I feed them this right here, which is just organic rabbit food.
Organic rabbit food.
Yeah, and so we can actually feed them. I haven't fed them yet this morning. They may not eat though because they're kind of on the schedule.
You feed them every day, or?
Yeah, I feed them every day, just about that much. Sometimes a little bit
just
more.
like in the morning and then.
Mm-hmm. And I have had systems where I grow my own food. If you have like a vermicomposting bin and you're growing a bunch of worms, you can feed worms to them. If you if you're growing algae, they'll eat algae. So I used to grow duckweed and algae to make their own, you know, kind of protein and stuff. But
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty basic, pretty simple. Yeah, you can see all the big ones back there. So I picked up these tilapia from a local guy, and then I've met some farmers, and we've switched out. They've like brought me some from their ponds, and I've given them some of these ones. So yeah, full fish taco garden. You could grow your fish and then everything you need to make the tacos.
So is this open at all at the bottom? Some holes, or?
There's one hole right under here, right where I have my bell siphon. Can you see that?
Oh, right there at the...
Yeah, and if you want to see this is really, really simple system, okay? This is the bell.
That's the bell?
Okay, so this, and if you look in here, you're going to see there's a tube coming up. You see that tube coming up, okay?
Yeah.
So this bell sits over that tube. So when the water fills up, let's pretend my hand's at the top of the tube, it starts going in naturally, okay? Well, what this bell does is this creates a siphon effect to where it starts swirling like a toilet bowl almost. And then that sucks all the water from the rocks. And while the water's falling down through the rocks, all this oxygen's getting sucked into it, and it shoots out down here and sprays back in, and then that's just how the cycle continues. And so this is a simple system called a bell siphon. And some people, you know, they do ebb and flow where they might have 2 tubes and they might have a pump on a timer filling it up. But this is, I like simple, keep it simple.
Yeah.
So yeah, brah.
So just like a small scale, so if you ever wanted to, you just scale it up and...
You scale it right up. And using a system like this, you could do more grow beds, more fish beds, you know. literally you could just come across a yard like this and just have gardens going wherever, and then do vertical or do them out. You know, like you could have the tubes going out, and this is just kind of like to get people stoked on it. And for me, I put my office out here during the day, and I like to have a little grow.
It's almost like a fountain noise.
It is. Yeah, you can totally do it up as water features too. Like, I'm pretty ghetto. My wife makes me keep it, like, put this stuff on it, you know, because I could care less about decorating it. What can you say?
Okay, so that's the garden.
Yeah. If you want to learn more about aquaponics, check out urbanfishfarmer.com. Yeah, bro.
Right here, that's how it's spelled. And also in the description.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.
What he said.